If you've been 3D printing for a while now, you may want to look into creating your own supports natively within your modeling software. This type of workflow is great for instances where you're working with similar products or have minor changes to them rather than individually unique items. Within a production setting, this workflow can become a powerful asset once you've passed the initial development stages. While it is true it can take a while in the beginning, often this makes for a more efficient workflow for post-processing and finishing work. The easiest way to do this is to take information which was established from the automated supports and carry these over into the 3D software. Before doing anything, you'll need to ensure that your 3D model is at a proper scale within the software, since this will make the values more accurate. The main information you'll need for this is your layer printing height, initial bottom layer count, upper diameter for your connection points, as well as the middle diameter for the pillars. I'll be using Blender, which is a free open source software, but this information will apply to anything similar, whether it be for animation or CAD. My custom keycap designs are a great example of this implementation, since they were all very similar and only contained slight modifications. For these models, I created a rectangle that was the total thickness of my initial bottom layers. Using my upper diameter information, I created supports which were this thickness, making sure to place these along the base of the model. It is very important that while doing this to include gaps that will act as drainage holes. These holes will help relieve any pressure buildup that can be created due to the suction forces. Once printed, all the supports could easily be removed with the use of a simple prying tool or sanded off until I reached the base of the keycaps. These were the final results I ended up with, and they worked like a charm. A larger scale example was the wood ring claws that I designed for a client. In this case, I created a base that could be easily cut off after the print completed. This saved me a bunch of time in my post-processing, since I only needed to really worry about softening the one edge of the model. Now, although I did sand everything to ensure that there weren't any layer lines, if this was a rush project, I still had the option of going straight into the painting process if I needed to. So although it normally takes quite a few test prints to ensure that such supports will be successful, this is where utilizing some of the built-in slicer features can be helpful. In Box and other slicers, often problem areas will be highlighted, so proving a model first will give you a better idea of where to place such supports. Another added benefit of doing this workflow is that it can help influence the model design to ensure that minimal supports are needed to begin with. My baby ghost design is another great example where this is the case. Compared to the original design, which would have required much more supports, the final version required little to none as a result of how the mesh was modeled. A lot of the finished products I make, such as the collector's coins, necklaces, rings, all use these techniques, and it greatly reduces the amount of time that I personally spend on post-processing. During a tight deadline, this means that I can normally finish a product within a couple of hours to within a day after printing has completed. But what about the controversy of printing your model flat on the build plate? Well, we'll go over that in an upcoming video.